Hey guys, Kevin from Pursuit. In this next video, I want to discuss the differences between a bulking phase and a shredding phase. You might have heard of this, and if you're not familiar, I'm going to discuss something that might be new to you. But usually bulking and shredding go into seasons. Bulking usually happens during the winter phases of the month of winter time, usually 3 to 6 months, and then the shredding can happen for 3 to 4 months. And because bulking happens during the winter, you will add a little bit of body fat. That's why people bulk during the winter time, because it's the holiday season. They don't want to give up food with their family. They can eat a little bit more and not feel so self-conscious because they know they're gaining muscle. And when they're shredding, it's usually around the beach season. So people want to look great in a tank top, look good in the board shorts with a bikini, and just really just look awesome and slender. So the difference is now going to bulking phase is that there's actually more volume in bulking. A lot of people think you gotta go really high rep when you're shredding and you just need to do tons of drop sets and lots of carb. No, that's not true actually. You need to do less volume in the shredding phase. The reason being is because your central nervous system and because you're in a caloric deficit will burn out much quicker if you're in a shredding phase and you're doing all that stuff. Your body doesn't have the calories to recover and repair itself, because the only way you can really gain muscle for most people is if you're in a caloric surplus, which means that you're putting more calories into your body than your body burns. Add with proper rest and nutrition with the calories, the caloric surplus, and you will add muscle. So that's the difference between those two. And then, because you're in a caloric deficit, you need more rest. You need to go really heavy, really strong, and probably a little bit more rest periods, because you want to get heavier weight and loads into your workout when you're doing that, because it's going to be low volume. You want to get as much heavy weights in as possible. You might even need to cut back your workout a little bit, like 45 minutes to an hour tops, as opposed to here you might be able to go like an hour and a half in the gym, and you might be able to add an extra day in. So that's the difference. In the bulking phase, you'll be gaining 0.5 to 1 pound per week. And 1 pound, I mean 1 pound. So in the shredding phase, you can lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. The reason why you don't want to do more than 2 pounds per week in a shredding phase is because you are going to be in a caloric deficit. You should probably want to lose about 15 to, you want to be in a caloric deficit, which means you're putting in less energy into your body through food than you burn in a day. So that way you burn body fat. That's a caloric deficit. That's the only way you're going to burn body fat. If you do more than 2 pounds per week, your testosterone levels might drop. You're going to feel really lethargic. You're going to be you won't recover from your workouts. You'll lose more muscle as well. And that's not good, because muscle is a high energy burner. It burns a ton of calories as opposed to fat, which is very minimal. It's barely anything. So in the bulking phase too, you want to eat more carbs. You need more carbs into your diet because you need to hit the volume and hit it hard. And another reason is because you need to refill your muscle glycogen. And the muscle glycogen, when you restore the muscle glycogen to its max, you can lift the heaviest and have a higher and have more volume into your workout, and you can rest and recover better. And also, having more carbs is protein sparing. So you need less protein actually. Because you need less protein, you can have more room for carbs. And because you need less protein, you might even need less supplements. And people might argue with me on this, but the reason being I say less supplements when you're bulking is because you are in a caloric surplus. The only supplements I wouldn't get rid of all year round are multivitamins, fish oils, if you have bad joints, glucosamine, chondroitin. So those are the 3 supplements that probably I wouldn't recommend getting rid of all year round, just for your general health. With less supplements, you might need less protein supplements is what I mean. You probably also need less caffeine in your diet when you're bulking. The reason why I say that is because you are in a caloric surplus. You're full of energy. When you're in a caloric deficit, when you're shredding, you might be a little bit less energetic, and you're going to need more caffeine to get you pumped up to go into that gym, to stimulate your central nervous system and to resist fatigue, whereas you might not need that when you're bulking and cutting. Creatine's the same amount. You can do that all year round, okay? Now, in the shredding, you need less carbs. The reason being is you're not on a no carb diet, you're just a little bit less. You have a little bit more protein in your diet. The reason being you have more protein in your diet is because you have less carbs. It's not sparing your protein as much, but the whole idea is that the dietary protein, that extra dietary protein you put into your body, is going to be used as energy instead of your muscle energy, instead of your proteins coming from your muscles as energy. So it's protein sparing in that way. It's muscle sparing more than anything. You need more supplements because, like I said, in the bulking, you're in a caloric deficit. Your nutrition, you're a little bit malnutrition technically. You're not getting the proper nutrition in because you're burning body fat. You're telling your body you're in starvation, and you're in a feast right here in the bulking phase. Starvation, feast. So the difference is you need more supplements to add in that your food, the lack of food isn't giving you now. Like keep up with your fish oils, okay? Also, you might want creatine if you're not using creatine in the bulking phase. You might want more little caffeine. You might want to go up to 300 milligrams of caffeine before you work out, whereas you might not need any caffeine. You might just need a cup of gel, a cup of coffee right beforehand. Also, if you get coffee in this, you might want 2 or 4 cups of coffee before you work out. So that's the difference between these two phases. Don't be fooled, guys. They're very different in the way you train, okay? So there's 2 different workout programs for that. So if you're really interested in getting your lean body physique, the body of an athlete, you want to get shredded, okay, for the winter time because you're just like, you know what, it's Halloween coming up and I want to look great in my new costume, or just basically you just want to look better because, you know what, you were saying, I've been bulking this whole time and I just want to look great because I want to get right into the winter time and just keep on going and getting shredded because I have a lot of body fat to lose. And join my athlete program, okay? If you want to go into my bulking phase, the same thing. My athlete program will do that. We'll just add more calories into your diet. And we do that systematically in a way for you that is sustainable with only gaining 0.5 to 1 pounds per week, 1 pound per week, and try to get as minimal amount of body fat gains as possible so you look aesthetic, muscular, and powerful, okay? So go on to my website. The link is below. Take the Body Designer and find out which program is great for you. Thanks, guys, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and it's informative.